everyone, welcome back to Life Cues. It's been a little bit over a month since my last post. Last post was on March 30th, and I had mistakenly written May 30th at the end of the page, and somebody pointed out, Monica, don't you mean March 30th? I'm like, well, you know, I'm on drugs, what can I say? So today I want to do my picture this way, like this way. In school, we called it hamburger and hot dog when we were teaching the kids. I want to do the hot dog long way, but because my book is so thick, I can't get it underneath the camera there. So I trimmed off a piece of cardstock, and I'm just going to use a regular piece of cardstock to work on, and then I will glue it in my book. So before I even get started on this, I'm going to draw a feather. Yeah, the other day, I want to say maybe about a week and a half ago, maybe 2 weeks, I went outside, and right outside, like we go down our front steps, and then we have cotoneaster hedges, and right at the bottom of the hedge, like it was like almost at the portal of my front door, was the most beautiful black crow feather. And I love their feathers because they are this iridescent blue. They're not really black, it's almost an iridescent blue. And so I want to do my page about that feather and what it means. So here I go. So here is the beautiful crow feather that I found, and if you look, you can see the iridescent blue on, and purples and gold. It's gorgeous. So I am going to try to replicate those colors with, I've got some pearlescent liquid acrylic here that I haven't used in forever. So I hope that's still liquid inside here. Yep. And a pretty purple that I will same ink. And I've got some Black India ink, which I'm going to start off with first. So I've dipped the brush in this black ink. I have no idea how. Yeah, it's very, very dark. Which I don't mind that, but hang on, I'm going to see if I can find another brush. And then where I've got those lines, here's a skinnier one. Where I've got these lines, you see, I will paint in blue and in purple. See? And then I'll blend it in later, because I had one in there. Then at least I can keep an idea of where my feather marks are. Okay, that's how I colored in my feather. Obviously, I couldn't get it exactly with the same shades, but it's inspired by this feather. And it is mixed media, so, you know, it's an inspiration. So I keep this feather upstairs on my sacred space in my bedroom where I meditate, and I love it. So I'm going to close these inks up really, really well, and then I'm going to take the piece of paper that I want to start my actual page on, and we'll put this feather aside to dry. So we're back to our blank cardstock. So I am going to start with just doing some little dabs of paint around, you know. I'm going to take this gold, and this is so pretty. This golden turquoise teal, actually. Just like pink is the color for breast cancer, teal happens to be, I got some all over my hand, happens to be the color for trigeminal neuralgia. So yeah, that's kind of cool. And it will be even more cool when I tell you the meaning of finding a crow feather. So neat. So I think I'll do that, and then I think I'll put just very minimal little bit of green in this mix. Come on, green, open up. There we go. It's just oozing out. I'll use my finger and use that. Boom, boom, boom. And I have one of these paint scraper things, or you can use a credit card. It's hard to see because everything's white, but not for long. So we're just gonna kind of scrape this way and just see what, is that pretty? See what we get. Oh, I love it. I love when you don't know what you're going to get, you know, and you just make a beautiful mess. It's fabulous. Liquitex pink. They're all just like right there. It's like, pick me, pick me. Ooh, I love how when you just leave the pink on the page, it just leaves like a funny, cool dot. I need more pink. Okay, I turned my page from this way to this way just for a second because I have some pink here. I want to add more pink here at the bottom. Kind of just in a few spots, 3 spots like that. And I want it to go in the other direction, but better than I was doing it with that other tool. So I'm going to try to go to the bottom and just kind of sweep up. Yeah, like that. Very coolio, man. I've had this for so long. And what I'm going to do is just use a little piece of the paper over here and mix up some of this molding paste here with some of that Black India ink. You don't need as much as you think you do, you know? And did you guys know that if you see a crow feather, that it's an amazing good omen, and that means you were being protected and kept safe? And I thought it was so fitting because I just had my gamma knife procedure done about a month ago, and then I started getting the expected trigeminal pain that's expected after the procedure. And it also means that the angels are with you during this healing process, and that they're going to look after you during this healing process that you're going through. And I thought, how synchronistic is that? I walk outside and I'm gifted with this gorgeous feather, and the timing couldn't have been better. I mean, I don't know if you guys can see this gloop I'm making over here, but it's not quite black enough. I'm going to add some black paint to it. Might be a little bit better because it's not, you know, getting really jet. I want it to be jet black. But sometimes, you know, you look around in nature, and nature leaves little presents for you, and you don't even pay attention to them. But I just thought that was so cool, especially given the timing that I found my feather. I loved it. So, okay, here's our stencil. Move that out of the way so you can see. Here's our stencil. So it's a honeycomb stencil. just going to put some of it over here and just put a bit over here. And put that molding paste. I'm just using a knife to get it, you know, a palette knife to get it into the spaces. And this is a Tim Holtz, one of his molds. There, so we have a little bit on either end of our picture. Now let me go and get cleaned up here. Wow. So I cleaned up quite a bit. Let me scoot back a bit. And I'm going to use now the dots that are on the same stencil. I'm just going to use the exact same stencil. And I'm going to just add, whoopsie, a few white dots just using the molding paste as is. And let me just get a good palette knife. I like them when the knife has a little dip to it, you know? Like this. It's easier to work with. So everything is dry that's on here right now. We'll just do almost like the Milky Way-ish. Just like a few splutterings of circles across the top of our page here. Lift that up, then I'll have to turn it. Don't need very much of this stuff, I tell you. Oh, that's cool. And I'm going to work our white spot that never got, never changed. It's kind of funny. It's still naked. We'll work it right on into our Milky Way. I think I'll change direction so it's not so linear. There, fun. Put a few over here. Just random going off into the who knows where. I didn't even mean for this to be like a sky, but kind of is. And then I'll put a few over here. And then we'll just let these dry. There, now we're all dry. So I am going to take one of my, these, what do you call these pencils? I never know. Mine always says Conte de Paris. It's like a charcoal pencil, and it smudges, and I want the black. So I'm going to try to kind of, this really needs to be sharpened. Kind of go in between my so-called buildings that are not buildings. And if I wasn't so lazy, I would go and get a pencil sharpener. See? So I'm just kind of outlining some of the things that I painted over here. No rhyme, no reason. There. So I'm just going to carry on like this for the next little bit. There you go. There's this bit. That's the best I could do with my pencil that needs sharpening terribly. So the next thing I'm going to do is take some gesso and hopefully there isn't. I'm going to pour some into the lid a bit. Just about like a bit. There we go. Put it back in the jar. There. And I'm going to use the lid of my glue stick. and make some white circles around here. Just random. Oops. I think the trick is if you give it a little twist. There you go. I love white circles. It's the end of our paper towel thing this morning. So I'm going to cut a little piece off of this. And use this piece. I guess you could use a toilet paper roll too. And just make more circles. So they're kind of echoing the circles, these little guys and then bigger guys and now these guys. I'm going to put one around that guy. Yeah, there. Oh, we'll put one around that one too. Here. They're just going to go around and play. It just fills the page in, you know. Oh. So, I don't know where it stopped. So I added this good Omen that I typed on my typewriter. I did some loopy writing here, and I put this liner around objet trouvé, which means found object, and I put the date on it. So I don't know if you can see objet trouvé. There it is. So I hope you guys like that, and I'm going to maybe put a little bit more journaling over here about that you're protected and kept safe. And that's going to be the end of my page. Protected. So here's my finished page. You can see up close the crow feather. That ink is so iridescent that the light is shining so bright on it that you can't even really see the colors there. Even the other light is wow. But anyway, you can see those little dots up close. And the rings I made. And protected and kept safe. Angels with you during the healing process. And that journaling is meant to be kind of scribbling that you can't really see, but you can if you look, you know. And there's all of my molding. Little dots. I love how the feather looks on the page because the ink is so different from the other paint I used. And my circles and objet trouvé. There we go. So that is my page, and it was all about that feather. And honestly, it was such a synchronistic moment when I found that, because that was right around the day when the pain that was supposed to come back came back. And I was kind of like, oof. So maybe I should go for a walk and get into nature and, you know, try to focus and do a meditative walk. And then this feather greeted me at my portal. I mean, you gotta love Mother Nature because she's always looking after you. So thank you so much for watching, everyone, and we'll see you really soon. Bye.